Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. More rumors emerge on why Giants, Steelers, and Saints passed on Shedeur Sanders, including thin skin from Big Ego. Shedeur Sanders' thin skin when being critiqued during interviews about his on-the-field shortcomings also played a role in why the New York Giants, Pittsburgh Steelers, and New Orleans Saints passed on him in the 2025 NFL Draft. There was no bigger story during this year's draft than Colorado star Shedeur Sanders' fall from being a projected top 10 pick to a fifth-round selection. In the last few days, many reports and rumors have emerged about the reason behind his steep drop. Well, popular podcaster Colin Cowherd has offered up a couple of others heard, no pun intended, from sources in the NFL. A lot of times, when you go to these combined meetings, teams give you things to challenge you. Teams will have a player's worst plays ready for them and say, "Hey, why don't you explain them?" Cowherd said on a new edition of The Herd. Shedeur, apparently, didn't take to it well. And at one point, one of the few teams that actually was interested in him said, "What do you make of this really bad play?" And Shedeur said, "Maybe I'm not the guy for you." That's not the answer, since there were only 3 or 4 teams that were going to consider drafting him. Another one. What they do during the combined meetings is that teams will install mistakes intentionally planted in, and they want you to catch them, he added. Shedeur didn't, and when a coach called him out, once again, it didn't it well. There has been a lot of talk for weeks about the physical limitations that Sanders has. However, a very important element of being a starting QB at any level is being a leader. That player has to be able to deal with the slings and arrows the position gets from fans and media. If true, it makes it understandable why many teams felt he wasn't worth drafting in the first few rounds. Because not only were there big questions about his physical skills, but he created huge red flags on his mental makeup during interviews in February. Which is why organizations in major markets like the Giants, Steelers, and Saints probably passed on the young QB. I don't like it, former NFL head coach gives Steelers draft D grade. This offseason, the Pittsburgh Steelers had some work to do to improve their roster. The 2024 season exposed a lot of shortcomings in their team. The NFL Draft represented an opportunity for them to address some of their weaknesses, and it feels like they did a good job of addressing most of their flaws, adding some talented players at positions of need. Just don't tell former NFL head coach Jay Gruden that. I give a D, Gruden said recently of the Steelers draft on his Clean Pocket podcast. I don't like it. I'm not a big Derek Harmon fan. I think he plays high too much. He's okay. Caleb Johnson, to me, was a lower-end running back. I know he played good at Iowa, was a tough kid, but he doesn't really have that elite speed. Doesn't have that elite contact balance. He's a big kid, has decent vision, I don't like him that much. None of the 2025 draft picks have played in the NFL yet, so it's too soon to say whether they're good or bad. However, looking at what the Steelers needed and what prospects were available to them, their draft haul doesn't seem as bad as Gruden grades it. Next to quarterback, defensive line felt like the Steelers' biggest need. Their run defense was atrocious to end the 2024 season, and they had to do something to fix it. Harmon should help with that. He was arguably the best defensive lineman left on the board when the Steelers picked at number 21 in the first round. Harmon has good traits and project as a solid NFL player. Running back was also a hole on the Steelers roster. They needed to add another player to the mix with Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell. While Johnson wasn't the fastest back in the class, he displayed breakaway speed several times in college. He should be a good scheme fit for Arthur Smith's offense as well. Those weren't the Steelers' only selections either. Jack Sawyer looks capable of providing quality edge depth, Yahya Black is a big run-stuffing defensive lineman, and Will Howard is a developmental quarterback. Even 7th-round picks Carson Bruner and Dante Kent could fight for roster spots. While the Steelers might not have had the best draft, they improved their team, infusing it with youth and talent. Perhaps Gruden's grade will age like a fine wine, but it's going to take time before we know. We'll see how many rookies have an impact on the Steelers this year. Pittsburgh Steelers star urges fans to have patience with Aaron Rodgers. Pittsburgh Steelers defensive lineman Cam Hayward is urging people to have patience as the Steelers continue their pursuit of Aaron Rodgers. The team and Rodgers have been discussing the matter for over 2 months, and they still have no final answer from the 4-time MVP. That has caused lots of angst in the fanbase, but Hayward thinks people need to have some patience with Rodgers as everyone continues their wait for an answer from the future Hall of Famer. I don't think we give enough patience to people. I think in this day and age with social media and everything, we kind of just expect an answer right there, right now. I don't know where this is going to end. I don't know if he's ever going to be a Steeler. I don't know if he's already a Steeler, but, I think, let's just show some patience. The Steelers took Ohio State quarterback Will Howard in the 6th round, 185th overall. Still, he might not be the last addition to the quarterback room, which currently also includes Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson. Rodgers is, of course, still hanging out there and, apparently, still very much on the team's radar. That's certainly a possibility, Mike Tomlin said of the team adding Rodgers on NFL Network. I'm not going to forecast the ifs and whens regarding not only him but any other potential free agent. We've had really productive talks with him, and I've enjoyed having productive talks with him and getting to know him. Rodgers said on the Pat McAfee show 2 weeks ago that he was working through personal issues and could not commit to signing with a team just yet. I am trying to be open to everything and not specifically attached to a decision. I'm not holding anyone hostage, Rodgers said. I've been upfront from the beginning. I don't mean any disrespect to anyone on a team. I'm just going through a lot in my personal life that has to take priority. I don't think it was fair to the Steelers or anyone while I deal with a lot of things off the field. The people that know. The people that don't, make up, expletive, about me. Yet, Pittsburgh passing on many quarterbacks is a sign that Rodgers will eventually sign. Meanwhile, they will put their eggs in the basket for the 2026 quarterback class, where they are almost certain to take a swing as they remain in quarterback limbo. And you fan? What do you think about Aaron Rodgers' situation? Write to us in the comments.